Good afternoon to all the learners. Welcome to YuktMind's initiative of 10 minutes and newspaper done. Let us finish your newspaper in fastest way possible so that you are able to save your time for the vast syllabus which is staring at you. Today we have selected 8 news from newspaper, amongst which 8th is analytical in nature and other 1 to 7 are more informative in nature. Have a look at the headlines and you can download the PDF from our Telegram channel and website Daily Current Affairs tab. First news, Go First lands in NCLT with 11,463 crore dues. Go First approached the National Company Law Tribunal on May 3rd, 2023 and sought the admission of its insolvency plea. Now, what is NCLT and under which act NCLT is formed? UPSC asks about institutions and organizations in prelims paper by quoting the statements and asking whether it is true or false. NCLT is a quasi-judicial body in India that adjudicates issues relating to Indian companies. The tribunal was established under the Section 408 of the Companies Act 2013 on 1st June 2016. All proceedings under the Companies Act like arbitration, compromise, arrangements, reconstructions and the winding up of companies shall be disposed of by the NCLT. It is also the adjudicating authority for the insolvency resolution process of companies and limited liability partnership under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. You can find this write-up in the PDF available in our Telegram channel. Second news, Supreme Court Collegium and its system of selection of judges. In a resolution proposing Justice Robin Foucan as a permanent judge of the Guwahati High Court, the Collegium lists 11 points which provide an insight into what it looks for while evaluating the judgment of candidates in its zone of recommendation. The 11 factors are well articulated and structured with proper recording of facts, clear identification of issues, apt advertence to the law, due consideration and application of mind to the submissions made by lawyers in court, adequate reference to the material and relevant pleadings, appreciation of circumstantial evidence, and appropriate compliance with sentencing. Third news, India slips in Press Freedom Index, ranks 161 out of 180 countries. India's ranking in 2023 World Press Freedom Index has slipped to 161 according to latest report released by the global media watchdog Reporters Without Borders, RSF in short. In comparison, Pakistan has fared better when it comes to media freedom as it was placed in 150 compared to 157th last year. In 2022, India was also ranked at 150. So India has declined its rank. Sri Lanka also made significant improvement on the index, ranking 135th this year compared to 146th in 2022. Norway, Ireland and Denmark occupied the top 3 positions in press freedom, while Vietnam, China and North Korea constituted the bottom 3. Reporters Without Borders comes out with a global ranking of press freedom every year. RSF is an international NGO whose self-proclaimed aim is to defend and promote media freedom. It is headquartered in Paris. It has consultative status with the United Nations. RSF defines press freedom as you can read in the slide. Fourth news, Rajnath lays foundation stone for Coast Guard harbour in Maldives. Recently, lot of defence meets are happening in Indian Ocean countries like Sri Lanka and Maldives. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on May 3rd, 2023 laid the foundation stones for the Maldives National Defence Forces Coast Guard Ekta Harbour. The development of the Coast Guard harbour and repair facility at Sifavaru is one of the biggest grant-in-aid projects of India. This is the first visit of an Indian Defence Minister to the island nation in 11 years. Fifth news, Telemanas counsels Kashmir's distressed souls. Over the past 6 months, the Institute of Mental Health and Neuroscience in Srinagar has received 10,500 calls on the helpline from people in distress across J&K. The service was started in Srinagar as a mental health care service by the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in 2022. One more Telemanas center is under process in Jammu. It is being linked to the district mental health program across all J&K. An online chatbot will be rolled on to address the needs of the people. Sixth news, IMD forecasts a cyclone in the Bay of Bengal next week. This will be the first cyclone to form this year and it will be called Cyclone Mocha. The name was proposed by Yemen after the Red Sea port city following an international convention on naming cyclones. The IMD has a 5-step classification for cyclones, with the relatively weakest classified as a cyclonic storm and the strongest as super cyclonic storm, which is greater than 222 km per hour. A severe cyclonic storm is just one step above a cyclonic storm and below the supercyclonic storm. Cyclones are more frequent in India's neighborhood around May, October, and November, or coincident with the advent and departure of the monsoon. If you have followed cyclones, you will observe that there are more frequent cyclones in Bay of Bengal compared to Arabian Sea. If you know the difference between the tropical and temperate cyclones, please write in the comments below. It is explained very well in the NCRT of in 11th NCRT of Fundamentals of Physical Geography. 7th news. XCMD of Water and Power Consultancy Services held. This can be used as an examples in GS4 ethics paper, the corruption heading. CBI has arrested former Water and Power Consultancy Services chairman cum MD Rajinder Kumar Gupta and his son for allegedly amassing wealth disproportionate to known sources of income. 8th news. The Use Artificial Intelligence Act. Now, after intense negotiations on how to bring general purpose artificial intelligence systems, GPAIs, like OpenAI's ChatGPT under the ambit of regulations, members of European Parliament reached a preliminary deal this week on a new draft of the European Union's ambitious Artificial Intelligence Act, which was first drafted 2 years ago. Now, you can observe that Europe's approach towards regulating new technologies is more comprehensive legislation, like MiCA, which is market and crypto assets, whereas USA has gone for sector-specific regulations. Why is there need to regulate artificial intelligence? Because AI has become omnipresent and their algorithms more advanced. They have become capable of performing a wide variety of tasks like voice assistants, driving cars, detecting cancer, etc. So the risk and uncertainties associated with them have also ballooned. Many AI tools are essentially black boxes, meaning even those who design them cannot explain what goes on inside them to generate a particular output. Complex and unexplainable AI tools have already manifested in wrongful arrest due to AI-enabled facial recognition, discrimination, and societal biases sleeping into AI outputs. And more recently, in how chatbots based on large language models (LLMs) like generative pre-trained transformer GPT-3 and 4 can generate versatile human competitive and genuine looking content which may be inaccurate or copyrighted material. Recently, industry stakeholders like Twitter CEO Elon Musk and Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak signed an open letter asking AI labs to stop the training of AI models more powerful than the GPT-4 for 6 months, citing potential risks to society and humanity. Powerful AI systems should be developed only once we are confident how much risk they are going to have on the humanity. Remember that AI tools are made by humans and their data, so which also include social biases and discrimination, which needs to be regulated. Now, how was the AI Act formed? It was drafted in 2021 with the aim of bringing transparency, trust, and accountability to AI, and also creating a framework which is good for fundamental rights and democratic values of the EU. It aims to address ethical questions and implementation challenges in various sectors. It seeks to strike a balance between promoting the uptake of AI while mitigating the harms that can come with it. Now, what does the draft document entail? The draft of the AI Act broadly defines AI. It identifies AI tools based on machine learning and deep learning, knowledge as well as logic based and statistical approaches. The Act's central approach is the classification of AI based on the level of risk they pose to the health and safety of fundamental rights of a person. There are 4 risk categories in the Act: unacceptable, high, limited, and minimal. It prohibits using technologies in the acceptable risk category with little exceptions. The Act also lays substantial focus on AI in the high risk category, prescribing a number of pre and post market requirements for developers and users of such systems. Some systems falling under this category include biometric identification, and categorization of natural persons, AI used in healthcare, education, law enforcement, etc. The Act envisages establishing an EU-wide database of high-risk AI systems and setting parameters so that future technologies or those under development can be included if they meet the high-risk criteria. That means it won't be a static database, it will be dynamic and keep including the upcoming technologies. So before high risk AI systems can make it to the market, they will be subjected to strict reviews known in the Act, which is called conformity assessments. It also requires our systems to be transparent, explainable, allow human oversight, and give clear and adequate information to the user. Since AI algorithms are specifically designed to evolve over time, high risk systems must also comply with mandatory post market monitoring obligations. AI systems in the limited and minimal risk categories, such as spam filters or video games, are allowed to be used with a few requirements like transparency obligations. Now, how has the AI industry responded to such acts being made? Some industry players have welcomed the legislation, others have warned that broad and strict rules could stifle innovation. Companies also have raised concerns about transparency requirements, fearing that it could mean divulging trade secrets. Explainability requirements in the law have caused unease, as it often not possible for even developers to explain the functioning of algorithms that they have made. Lawmakers and consumer groups, on the other hand, have criticized it for not fully addressing risks from AI systems. They want it to be more regulated than what it is. A Carnegie endowment paper points out that the standards process has historically been driven by industry, and it will be a challenge to ensure governments and the public have a meaningful seat at the table. Now, where does the AI government currently stand? The US currently does not have comprehensive AI regulation as it does in all the sectors. The Biden administration released a blueprint for an AI Bill of Rights (IBOR) developed by the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. The IBOR outlines the harm of AI to economic and civil rights and lays down 5 principles for mitigating these harms. The blueprint of IBOR, unlike the EU, endorses a sector specific approach to AI governance. On the other end of the spectrum, China over the last year came out with some of the world's first nationally binding regulations targeting specific types of algorithms and AI. China enacted a law to regulate recommendation algorithm with a focus on how they disseminate information. China's Cyberspace Administration of China (CAC), which drafted the rules, told companies to promote positive energy, to not endanger national security or the social public interest, and to give an explanation when there is an harm to legitimate interests of users. China's AI Regulation Authority has also created a registry or database of algorithms where developers have to register their algorithms, information about the datasets used by them, and potential security risks. India is yet to make a draft on Artificial Intelligence Act. Thank you for watching. I hope it helped you. Keep visiting our website, Telegram, Instagram, and Twitter handles.